gain more control over the sculpting process, there are two very important tools that you need to know about. First one is masking, and the second one is the selection tools. Masking just simply allows us to protect an area that we don't want to affect while we're sculpting. Let's take a look at the hand and fingers here. If we try to move one, there is a portion of the adjacent geometry that moves with it. So you don't want to do that. You want to move that specific finger. So let's just try to reduce the size of the brush here. And that's okay, but you get uneven surfaces when you do it this way. Let's try and find out if there's a better way to mask this area. In the previous video, we saw that the Shift key actually provides the smooth brush for you. And in the same way, if we hold the Control key down, we get our masking brush. So let's go ahead and press Control. You'll see that the thumbnail changes to the masked pen, and my mouse changes to yellow. So let's hold the Control down and start masking around one of the fingers here. The mask is indicated with a darker color or a darker gray in this instance. And so if you make a mistake, you can undo that with Ctrl-Z, or you can invert it. Let me show you how. So in the tool palette, look for the masking palette down here. Okay, and now we have the inverse button here. Just go ahead and click on that and it will inverse your selection. So now let's go back and paint the selection you want. And as you can see, there are other options here in the sub palette, but they're very self-explanatory, so just feel free to kind of play around with them and try them out. Okay, so now that the mask is inverted, the only area that would be affected by our brush is the finger here. Now let's go ahead and use the move brush to shape the finger the way we want it. As you can see, this works great. So now if we shape the finger the way we want it, it doesn't affect anything else around it. Okay, so let's just shape that a little bit more here, get it the way we like. Okay, once we're done, we can click on clear from the masking palette here. Or a quicker way is that we can hold Control, click, and drag once outside of the canvas to remove the mask, just like this. Okay, now let's talk about the selection tools. Let's say we want to work on everything from the shoulder down to the hand, basically the whole arm here. But we don't want to affect the head, neck, shoulders, and the torso here. We could use the masking technique that we just learned. But the problem is, all of this area that we don't want to sculpt on is going to get in the way. So to completely hide this area, let's use the selection tool. This will temporarily hide the parts of your sculpture that you don't want to affect. To use the selection tool, press the Shift and Control key as a combination. You see now that the thumbnail now changes to the selection tool. Also, the mouse cursor is white now. Now hold Shift and Control and click and drag anywhere. You see, anything within this green area is going to remain visible when you let go of the click. So as you can see, if I let go, the rest of the model is hidden. And you also see that we have symmetry selected, so the tool selects the opposite side as well. That's a good thing for this example. Now let's go to the display properties, and this is located at the bottom of the tool palette. Let's just go ahead and expand this here. And you'll see a switch called double. Let's go ahead and enable that, and that way you can see the back faces of our mesh. Now to quickly invert the selection, we can hold Ctrl-Shift and click and drag on the canvas once. And to make everything visible again, simply hold Shift and Control and click on the canvas once instead of dragging. Okay, now let's go ahead and hold Ctrl-Shift and click and drag to start a selection. But now I'm going to let go of the Shift and Control keys. And as you can see, I still have the selection square. And I can change its size because I have let go of the click. Now press and hold the Alt key instead, and you'll see that the green square will now turn into a red one. This tells you that whatever is in this highlighted area will be hidden, instead of remaining visible. So this is just a way to reduce some of the steps involved, in case you want to hide an area instead of selecting an area to remain visible. Okay, sweet. Now that you know the masking and selection tools, you can go ahead and continue polishing and molding the base mesh using your move brush, and masking and hiding certain areas until you're happy with your armature. Hey, if you like these videos, be sure and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Until next time, thanks for watching.